All right. Cool. So basically, how this is going to go is I'm going to jabber like I usually do, and give y'all some information. We'll let other admins and staff and developers talk if they want, and then we'll go to questions and all that good stuff, jazz. There is a feature that if you want to talk, somehow you're able to raise your hand and somebody can see that. I don't know how that's done, but we'll make sure that you get an opportunity to talk. Um, Try to make your questions all at once instead of, dragging it on until the wee hours of the afternoon. Um, because I'm sure everybody has personal things that they want to do, so forth. Um, let's see. Happy Feet. Yes, if you want to record, that's fine. I'm sure Bong and Mr. Dokes and all of them are recording, so there's multiple recordings that will be out there. So first and foremost, I want to let you know that there has been some changes in our staffing that has gone on. Marcus Reed has stepped down due to uh, real life work and not being able to put in the time and that he would like. And Mr. Michael Garibaldi has stepped up to that position of head admin. Obviously, we have some new admins, Kit and Mr. Jimmy Sanchez. And some new promotions to moderator and so forth. Mr. Kyle and Happy Feet, which is not really Happy Feet. I just call him Happy Feet because his name's Happy. Um, but the biggest thing why everybody's here and it is interesting is obviously, the life mod, NerdsRPG. Um, Basically, want to let everybody know that we are very close to releasing. Literally less than 2 weeks. What is going to happen is PD, EMS, support, and crucial departments, judges, and so forth are going to get on the server first, be able to do their training and learn how the systems work with one another so that you don't have people getting screwed over or your gameplay is affected by someone not knowing what to do. Next, can people stop please poking me because it's really annoying. Um, uh, hey, there we go. Um, so what happened after everyone is trained and we're ready to go? We will start allowing business owners and their employees to start coming on the server. And the reason for that is to allow them to build up the necessary assets to be able to make things in a game, whether it be cars, weapons, which I hope to God nobody just starts making weapons, um, or you know, food, stuff like that, to be able to put in their stores and have things to sell and so forth. So it's going to be emergency services coming on the server first, getting training. Should take 1 or 2 days. And then businesses and so forth. Now, one of the things that will be released in the next, hopefully, day or so, and I think I'm going to be working with James Stokes on this, if or someone else, is making some video tutorials uh, per se on each of the asset features so that everyone can get a general understanding of how everything works, because I'll be the first to say that our mod is not like anyone else's. You've literally got a economy system that is run by the players, and Basically it's up to you if this succeeds or fails, or admin has to step in and actually put NPCs in to keep it from going belly up. But for the most part, everything is player base ran. um, there's going to be a delay on the fire system. That will probably be like a week or two from original release. But one of the things that I want to reiterate is there's not a lot of people that's made companies on the forums. So now's an opportunity to really take a look at what you want to do. Some of the good things is oil manufacturing. We got to have gas to fill up cars, because utilizing gas, it drains vehicles really fast. And the hell was I going to say? Oh, mining companies, factories, people that actually goes and kills the goats, or has sex with goats, whatever floats your boat, and actually sells meats and stuff. Yeah, I figured that'd get you aroused, Mister Bone. um, but um, but those companies are going to be the ones that first come on. And if you're a taxi company, most likely you're not going to be one of the first priorities that comes on the server and so forth. But eventually, all businesses will come on so that you can set up your company, get situated, and so forth. Now, the main question comes is how the fuck are you going to get money? Well, there is going to be a section on the forums very soon that will allow business owners to apply for federal funding. And what that's going to do is you're going to have to pay that back, or, I'm going to come burn down your building, or I will, send my little hedge hunters and we repossess your building, and the court system sells your business to at the court step. Um, so you will be able to um, put in requests for loans, and there will be detailed guidelines on what we're looking for, and uh, basically will be where you have to do a profit and loss comparison, off of kind of real world numbers. Everything in game is going to be based off real life things, like a bottle of water is going to cost you a dollar, $2. A gun may cost you $400 or $500, so it's not like you go run a, a, a DP and get $10,000 off of it. That shit don't happen. You're literally going to work your ass off to get somewhere. And all of our research and looking at other communities is the problem is, everybody is quick to rise up through the ranks of being millionaires, and then they get bored because they don't know what to do other than go shoot each other. So making it harder for people to do things is going to, I think, make the mod more serious RP, because out of everybody that we talked about, they are not always wanting the gun battles. They want to actually sit there and RP. So, it shouldn't be down unless all you guys are hitting it. Well, I'll deal with that in a
Slow. I
minute.
suspect it's just getting under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, probably everybody's hitting it. Um, So, with that said, we're 2 weeks out, if not sooner. Definitely it will be sooner for departments and their training. So look forward to some videos coming out very soon to give you an idea of how things work. And some of the streamers that I'll be reaching out to do some videos on, to help promote the community. I'll be hitting you guys up very soon. Um, Probably not Frankie. I don't need 20 million people trying to hit our community. I'm referring to individuals that is been supportive from day one. Like James Dokes, uh, Mr. Bong, individuals, Tim Mack, Devil Dog, and no, not Mr. Moon. I don't think I've ever talked to him about this community. Um, and no, not Rhino Crunch. He can go fucking suck a dick. Um, uh, but that's about it. Does anybody else on staff have anything they want to chime in on? Admins, want to introduce yourselves or anything of that nature?
Yeah, sure. I'll say something. Uh,
Sure.
First of all, guys, thanks for turning up. We have been working. Uh, I say we. The developers have been working their asses off, basically, for the greater part around a year now. Now we had bumps in the road. Little, needless to say, which is why beta was late. Now we understand that people are going to be frustrated about that. But as it's been stated over and over, and it's admittedly became one of our sayings for our community, we don't want to release something that's not finished. There's no point doing that because what happens then is we release something which isn't playable to a decent standard, and we disappoint you guys. And I speak for the whole staff team and the development team. The only reason we put this effort in, and the only reason, like in my spare time after I get home from uni, it, when on my spare time, I'm on here helping you guys have the best bloody roleplay experience you can have. Um, it's all about the players, and we know that, which is why we've made this as bloody in depth and fun as possible. So I just want to say thank you for staying with us and having faith. And you guys that are here right now are the ones that clearly show us support.
Also notate that that there will be a launcher that will be given out or posted on the forums for people that is accessible to the beta to be able to download, and that's going to pretty much capture your credit card information and all that good stuff, so that I can fly away in my personal jet and fuel it up and so forth. But you'll be able to download the mod files and all that stuff and be able to launch right into the game without having to put any passwords or anything of that nature in.
I think Jacob had a question.
Howdy.
Hey, what's up, Jacob?
I'm good. How about you?
Good.
So, I now have 3 questions. One about the launcher is, on it, are you guys going to have it so you select this profile you want to use? Because some people have different ArmA 3 profiles, such as different names. So you can have the option to select the name you use for the server. Or you just got
I don't know that the launcher has that feature. I think it's something that you're going to have to set up in ArmA for it to be your default for it to launch into.
Okay. Second question. I remember early stages you guys were going to do some kind of melee system. Is that still actually in the works? Because, I mean, for us DOC, we're not going to have hand weapons like a pistol or something where we are. And I think all we were supposed to have was like a nightstick or something. Is that still being worked on?
Basically, the melee system is going to be put in. However, it's not going to be the point where you can actually snap somebody's neck and kill them. It's basically just going to, knock them out or lower their health and so forth.
Yeah.
There will be things for DOC to have as far as like tasers or I guess in some instances you guys will have weapons because somebody tries to escape from the inside out. You need to shoot them in the back of the head, but or try to capture them. But
Yeah, obviously, yeah. And DOC, do they get in early as well, or is that
yes,
just like PD?
DOC will get in just as well.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Your third question, or
I
was
just
that
had
okay? Cool.
3.
Guess we just go down the line. Is there any other moderators or staff that developers that want to say anything?
If not, I just queued up Robert Ispis as the next.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so I got again 3 questions. One of them is not related to the mod. So the first one is when the staff applications will open for Europe.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
When the staff applications will be open for Europe or European times.
That would be a Kit question or a Kit answer.
It basically just comes down to when we need people from time zones, and at the moment, the majority of our staff are European, so it's not something that we need right this second.
Oh, okay.
But when the mod is, like when the beta's out, we'll probably need more staff, so around that time, I'd suggest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the second question is what's the overall performance like? How the mod runs? You know.
Well, basically, in alpha when we had everybody on the server for the little bit of the time we had it, everybody on. I think everybody was running around 50 or so frames. With the way that things are now, with the testing of the 10, 15 people that we've had on, I know personally I get around 75 frames. But I've got a pretty decent computer, so I think some of the guys that have less shittier PCs usually gets around 40 or so.
And next up is Ja Brooks. Oh, hold on before Ja. Robert had one more question with him. Sorry, Robert.
Okay. Yeah. And my last question was about EMS. Are they gonna get any sort of stretcher, striker? I heard something about a striker, but never seen any things.
That is in the works. Medical system right now is based off of ACE, in which I think them guys have pretty much extensively trained on that. There's a focus that will be put on fire and EMS in the next couple of weeks to months to better their experience within the mod to give them things, but we've not finished our model of the striker stretcher that will also have IV bags and head stabilizers and all that stuff that we want to put on there. So that should be coming in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
And then the next up is Ja.
Hey. I was just wondering about servers. Will there be just US servers or US, EU, and AU?
Most likely starting out that we're going to only have one server up. Obviously, we can't pay for multiple servers. We just got to take a feel for how much interest that people have within the servers, and obviously we'll grow that with the rate of being able to have enough staff to cover those servers so that people are not just messing up your RP and so forth. So we'll grow it eventually, but for the most part, I think we'll try to maybe put some servers on the West Coast, maybe to kind of help with some of the individuals that are like in the UK and so forth, have a little bit better think to the servers.
Okay, and how long will beta be up for?
Beta will be up until public release.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yep.
Next up is Persona Lock.
Just got a quick question. Are we gonna be able to download the mods prior to the release?
No. You will have to utilize the launcher. If the launcher gets put out before we release, then yes. But it's not just going to be a link to where people can download our stuff.
Okay.
Next up is David Brown. You there, David?
Oh, David.
We'll skip over David and come back. He's not able to talk.
Sure.
Jacob Ford is next.
Another question came to my head. Because I was correct. Are you guys going to use Acre or TFR?
TFR.
Okay. Second question: are you going to be using Ace?
Yes.
You said yeah. Are you guys going to be titling those mods just Ace, or are you going to title them Ace CS or something so they don't interfere with other people's Ace? It's just more of a it's just more helpful, I would say.
We could probably put rename the structure so it doesn't interfere with other communities, add-ons and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I'll make a note about that. Scotty, write it down.
So I mean, I do Milsim, and to update different versions of Ace every day would just be a pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can do that definitely.
Thank you.
Hey, for anyone, if you get your question answered and you come with another one, if you could just wait until everyone else that hasn't had a chance can go first, just to be fair to everyone. I appreciate it. Hey, David, are you able to talk yet? I'll take that as a no. Next up, Akihiro.
Yo, hi, what's up? I had that question actually to you, Mike, talking about the economical system and stuff. Do you have like any illegal ways sorted out? Like some mafia type thingy of running like illegal business, selling drugs? But I came with the idea with it. Is it possible like to drugs like make you some special effects or something so people would actually like buy them or something like that?
Yeah, the drugs will have special effects. It will also give you special perks. You know, methamphetamine may give you the ability to not be tased by police. So there are bonuses, and there's also repercussions to utilizing drugs. So
okay, cool.
Don't be a crackhead.
Yo, no, I don't want to be a crackhead. I want to be the guy who deals that shit. Okay.
Right. Right. Just passes that shit out in the back door.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. No worries, bro.
Next up is Ivan Petrovich.
What's
Ivan
up?
Petrovich.
Mike, I want to speak with you after the meeting in private. It's about business.
Drugs.
Is it Russian business?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do you want the problems with the mafia?
All right, I'll make sure to get with you after the meeting. Yeah, no worries.
Next up is Dokes.
Hello.
What up, Dokes?
Is this NerdsRPG?
Nope, this is Kappa Life.
Oh. I was gonna ask. Are cop apps open?
I don't know. Sanchez?
Call-ups are currently closed due to the fact that we are still on a tight budget and we still need to train another batch before this, so they should be open like probably about a couple of weeks from now as well.
And also, like, will EMS and PD and like fire department have set budgets? So like, if they run out of money, like everyone keeps buying like the top gear, then they're fucked.
There will be budgets for the departments. However, until I can get the senator structures and so forth in place, I think we're going to give a set amount of items to PD, EMS, and fire department to start off with. And then if they run through that, then they're going to have to request for replacements.
And I've got like quite a few questions.
Go for it.
Clothing wise, is there any like facial things so you can have like a neck beard?
A neck beard? I mean, we haven't got to that point, but I'm sure that there's some developers that can make that stuff easily, or there's mod packs that we can look at adding them. And if you want to have a goatee and stuff.
Is there any mod packs you're using right now? What sort of mod packs are in the end game, like TFR and stuff?
Yeah, there's mod packs that we're using. There's going to be a link on the forums very soon that shows all the mod packs that we're using, and giving credits to them and links to their websites and so forth. So that should be up very soon. So yeah.
Forums are back up, by the way, now apparently.
Thanks, guy.
Fire. Does that work?
The fire does work.
So could I go to Aki's house and burn it down because he's making pot and didn't pay me?
So it works now. It does need a little bit of improvement right now. Actually, spraying it with a fire hose is kind of a little buggy, but
can you push people over with the fire hose? Grand Theft Auto style, you just spray them down the road.
Actually, that's actually a really good idea, and I kind of want to add that, but not
just ragdoll.
It'd be pretty easy to add.
Like, get away from the fire, kid!
But yeah, like I was saying, it needs a little bit of improvement. We already know exactly how we're gonna do it. We just need to find time to do it.
Alright, because I saw like it was kind of working, and every tree had to get like a fucking ID and stuff beforehand.
And our
spreads and it's
like your whole city's on fire and you're like shit. And then the server's full, so fire department can't get online.
Well, we're going to make it to where if there's not enough fire department individuals online, that you can't just burn down the whole fucking server. So
that'd be like legit strat to get away from the cops, just burn everything around you.
Right.
But also, what are jail times right now? Like, is it going to be like? Because I know the court system was in semi like before, so you got like put in like a little shitty prison, and then you got like your court date and sent in, and then like someone will be there and like, but you go into prison.
Basically, the way that works is your time is based off the judge's decision. So if you can RP really good and use the shit tons of legal systems that we've drawn up to use as loopholes and stuff to get out of it, I mean, that's all on you. I mean, it's up to the judge to that makes the decision on how long you sit in court or sit in jail, or if you get released and you walk free. It's all there. A police officer can't be the one that sends you to jail for a certain amount of time. It's up to them. It's up to the judge, and it's up to the police officer to give enough evidence to be able to prosecute you and actually get you put in jail. So
like GoPros and stuff, because I know like CG and shit, there's like the cop statement is final sort of thing until like later on.
I mean, if you got proof that you didn't do anything, I don't see why you can't upload that to show as evidence and so forth. I would highly encourage individuals to record their gameplay. I think that would extend the role play as far as the legal system and being able to say, hey, I was there, but I did not, smoke the marijuana.
Well, it's a two-way street, though. If the cops recording, and
right,
they get you on film, then there's nothing you can really.
We could if they had like a natural body cam item you hook onto yourself, so then it looks like you're actually recording something. Like a little yellow thing like they have IRL. And also, how long before Lewis Stewart's banned from the server?
I estimate 1 or 2 weeks. But I mean, we'll see.
Alright, I think that's all my questions for now.
Alright.
I kept getting random questions from like chat,
Yeah.
They mostly want to know how much dedicated WAM is for the server.
Oops,
how much
sorry,
wham?
Cut you off so quick, but next up is Marcus Lane.
So I just had one question. What's gonna be the use of player housing besides storage?
It's your house.
Swag.
It's lag.
No,
Swag.
he said swag.
Oh.
Right now, the current uses can be to store your car. So if you own a house, you can park your car there in your garage, if it has one, of course. You can put furniture anywhere in the house eventually. And that means literally anywhere. So if you want to put a couch on the wall, then go for it.
That answer your question, Marcus?
Yeah.
Next up is Robert Walski.
Hey, Mike, I have a question regarding the manufacturing processes. How would that work? Is there, like, let's say you would need a certain amount of materials to, let's say, manufacture something, or is there, what kind of system is it? Like, is there a chance, let's say, to fail manufacturing something and so forth?
As far as failing something, that's not in there. That would be something really nice to be able to put that, based on a learning system or a crafting system. But right now, if you just got the materials to build something, it will just automatically spit it out.
Oh, okay. But now, would you know what kind of materials you need? Like, do you guys have it like built that way where, you know what kind of materials do you need to actually, manufacture, I don't know, let's say, you're manufacturing weapons and so forth?
Well, I mean, we know. I mean, that's something that you're going to have to find out through trial and error.
Okay. And also, like, if, I would like to have a word with you after the meeting about, the business. And I would like to say thank you to the devs for, streaming and giving us, a little sneak peek here and there of what they're working on. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask a question.
Yeah, no worries.
Next up is Shaquana Jones.
What up? All right. So my question pretty much is, how would I know that you get, when you start a business, you can apply for a loan from the government. But let's say, I want to start an oil business. How would I go about getting a refinery? Would that just happen towards like, the government gives me the money to get the refinery, or would they give me the refinery directly?
You will get the money, and you will have to go buy the refinery, and it has to be built.
Okay.
Did that answer your question, Mr. Jones?
Actually, I have another question. So how would it work? Like, let's just say, like, just explain like the basic like principle. Like, let's say, just for example with oil, how would it work from getting from the refinery to a gas station? The way that you guys have it set up currently.
So you want to know how like oil will get from a refinery to a gas station?
Yep.
I know there's a little bit of pipeline throughout the map, so you can transport it along there. But there's also tanker trucks, and that could be someone's company, or you could do it yourself, where you could literally go just transport gas to gas stations, and you buy it from a refinery and sell it to the gas station, or the refinery employs drivers and then they transport it. It all comes down to cost, and if you can afford trucks, or if you can should afford to hire someone else to do.
All right. Just one more question. What do you guys mean by built? Like, do you have to find a location for the refinery, or is it like just one set place that you give me?
Basically, you had to buy a factory, like a commercial building.
Yep.
And you put your equipment in there.
All right. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Next up is Kate James.
Who?
Kate James.
Oh, okay. You here?
You there?
He fells.
I guess she. Oh, it's not letting her talk for some reason. Weird. Weird. Okay, we'll come back to you. Next up will be Mortimer Curry.
Somebody talking?
Hello?
Go.
You hear me
Go
now?
ahead, Mortimer.
Oh, perfect.
Sorry.
Good. Just a quick question. I'm more one of the kind of players that loves RP and shit, but at the same time I want action, you know. I wanna after a while of RPing, collecting things, and I've been playing Altus Life and Armor 3 Life and all those, of collecting stuff, I get bored and shit, so I wanna get some action, you know. I wanna kill people. But I'm getting the feeling that this is not the kind of server that is for me then, because it feels like it's all the time it's supposed to be RP. You're not supposed to just pick up a gun and go do more or less whatever you want, unless you, of course, have a without an RP reason, you know. So is that, am I correct on that, or is it actually going to be a good server, even though I might be missing out on some of the action?
You, sir, are very smart and wise.
Uh-huh.
If your intentions is just to get a gun and go shoot somebody, yeah, this ain't it.
Come again?
I'm sorry.
Right. This isn't a place for RDM.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand it's not a place for RDM. I mean, no RP server is a place for RDM. But I mean, is it a server for... Is it possible to do, if you get the feeling that you want to get some action, is it possible to get action in like a time limit of 1 hour? Or do you actually have to work for like 24 hours?
Well, I mean, you're not going to get rich on this server very quick.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. You're going to grind, and you know, if you see somebody that is, you know, spent 4 hours at the mining field and his dumbass is driving down the road on a back highway, and you're like, I got a gun, I'm gonna go take his daily shit from him. You know, you pull him over, you know, and you RP taking his shit. That's fine. You're not going to get a notice by PD says, "Oh, this guy just shot this guy." It doesn't work like that. If you know an officer comes by and sees a dead body laying on the ground, there might be a chance that he can pick up some evidence to track you down. But for the most part, you know, PD's not going to know if you kill somebody unless you do it in front of a witness.
Okay, I see. Yeah. But I mean, it feels like it is the one of a kind server, as you said, that where you RP is like the main focus. So getting action, for example, like Star Wars Battlefront and all that shit, you're not going to like the ArmA nature, you know, killing people. It's not going to be in that way. Am I correct?
You are correct. It is not just about killing people.
Yeah.
You can stick to critical gaming if you want to do that.
Copy that. Thank you.
Yep.
Next up is Kate James.
All right, I can finally talk. Okay.
What
Hey
up?
guys, what's up? I haven't seen you guys in so long. All right, so I had two questions. I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of time talking. The first one is will priority be given to businesses as far as loans go that are needed first, like oil companies and stuff like that?
Yes.
And apologies. Okay. So the first companies that are going to be getting loans are going to be needed, ones that are needed for the server.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
No, okay. So businesses that are needed on the server, they're going to get loans first.
Correct. If they say I'm going to hire 10,000 people and pay them $30,000 a day, you know, their business application is not going to get approved because in realistic, you know, that's not going to work. It's going to be a failure. But if somebody actually says, you know, I'm going to pay somebody $10 an hour, for 5 people, I need a loan for $30,000. $20,000 is going to be spent on purchasing a building and $2,000 on equipment. They're going to get a loan.
Okay, I guess what I mean is like, because I have a business, but it's a bar. So like, if I apply for a loan as soon as the server opens, am I going to be lower on the priority list? Which is fine. I'm wanting to clarify.
No, we will take all business applications and so forth because you got to get food and water somehow. And if you are wanting to run a bar and stuff, that's entertainment that's going to have to be needed. So what I'm looking at is I'm not going to get somebody a loan for $100,000 for somebody to go make drugs or something, or they want to make a dildo factory,
Right.
or and so forth.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so my second question was, what's the status on the female models? I know you guys are probably sick of me asking about it, but
we have female models. Getting them into ArmA has been a challenge for us. But it is still our goal to get them in.
Cool. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the work you've been doing.
Yeah, no worries.
Next up is Aki again.
Yeah, I got another question. It's about the system you're putting in. Illegal casinos or casinos, are you guys planning to put them in? Because on CG there's like a blackjack thing and stuff like that. Are you guys planning to putting something inside?
We will have casinos. It won't be out on day one, but that is on our list to do. There will be the opportunity for you to have a casino business, because I know that's already something that individuals have come to me because you want to run your back business out of the back, and so that is on our list to do.
Okay, another question. Prostitution, man. How's that going?
That's a fine line between being disrespectful for the female players, because let's be honest, people are going to try to roleplay rape, and I'll be the first one to permaban a motherfucker off the server for that.
Yeah, I'm completely for it.
I would probably say it's not highly suggested. If I don't know, anybody else want to chime in on that? I'm a little biased on allowing that.
Yeah, don't go anywhere near any type of role play that might offend someone, because that is on our list of things that is a non-negotiable permanent ban. Okay, I just wouldn't toe the line at all. Right?
Yeah, and I guess I'll be the dumb who's gonna ask about this. Guns. What kind of guns people are can get here?
Well, I mean, all guns are gonna.
I hope not some fucking powerful guns and stuff like that.
Basically, I mean, you are able to get a hold of AR-15s and stuff like that. However, making them and receiving them is going to be very difficult, because we've got the system to where it's really going to micromanage it, weapons. Weapons can be made through the manufacturer. It's got to be sold directly to a company. It can't be sold to individuals from the factory. If you do that, then we're going to come in. We're going to arrest you. We're going to throw you through the court system, and we're going to sell your business, and so forth. The legal aspect is going to take over. But those weapons have to be sold to a company. The company has to sell those weapons to individuals, and they have to track who they sold them to.
Okay. What about some kind of arms trafficking, how do I say, offshore weapons?
Well, I mean, unless you're trying to spawn them in yourself, I mean, there's really no. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, there's no offshore weapons. I mean, there's no ability for that. I mean, it has to be made from a factory and has to go through a company system. And I mean, the weapons can be in the game because everybody, wants to have weapons. However, we're trying to limit the ability for people just to be able to go to a gun store and just buy it directly.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Yep.
Next up is Jason X.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Question I have is, you know how like the day-to-day stuff and all the other life servers were how
Say that
like
again?
cops and laws, and if you shoot someone with a pistol, you automatically lose your license and get put up onto the wanted list. How is law enforcement, the enforcement aspect, going to be held up in Nerds? Like, how is it going to happen?
Well,
Is there
I
gonna
mean,
be, you know, I'm sorry. You
no,
can,
no, go ahead.
like, I'm just wondering if there's like gonna be in-depth, like, uh, how do I properly say this?
There's
I don't
no
want
kill
shit to be
message
automated.
list.
Does that get my
There's
point
nothing
across?
automated. If you shoot somebody, it doesn't automatically go. It has to be manually entered by someone into the database for a warrant to be issued for your arrest for potentially killing somebody. They don't get notices that you've been killed somebody. So, for instance, you're standing in a crowd of 10 people and you shoot somebody. One of them people calls 911. 911 dispatches somebody. You run off. PD actually does their job for once in a lifetime and actually, gets a witness to testify and get information. And they put out a bolo for what you were wearing and so forth. That's how that works. As far as you shooting somebody and you're in a back alley and there's no one around, until there's a forensics evidence system put in that will, have potential of, a gun shell that could be tracked back to when you first purchased your weapon and so forth, then, I advise you to shoot people in a back alley.
All right, cool. So just let me reiterate. Basically, you're telling me if there's no one to see what happened, then you can never get arrested. Basically.
Well, I wouldn't say you wouldn't never get arrested. I mean, there's eventually will be, things put in the game that, somebody stumbles upon a warm crime scene and, police can get there in a certain amount of time. There will be, a percentage of, if, an area is cordoned off and no police is walking through there disturbing the evidence, they might have, a 50% chance of, finding out who murdered somebody rather than if a cop walks through there and it lowers the percentage of them finding evidence.
All right, cool. So
But
there's
that's still in the works.
Okay. So there's no anything system in place right now. You guys are
Right
planning.
now it's scotch free.
Cool. I like it. Thank you.
Yep.
Next up will be Dokes again. He had a statement and a question.
Hello.
Statements.
I'm an alcoholic. Oh wait, wrong yeah, about Aki's sex shit, like Twitch terms of service actually prohibits anything like that. So unless you want NerdsRPG on the blacklist of mods to play, I highly doubt that should be a thing.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing that up, and that definitely makes our answer.
Going up to hooker and scroll wheeling isn't exactly like against any things, but it's like if you went in there and started just doing a series of moaning and turned out lights, maybe that would be a different story.
Right.
I wouldn't risk it, to be honest. Like if you have to question something, then I wouldn't do it. Like that's the thing.
Fair enough.
Because
Thank
a lot
you.
of people are going to be streaming and shit. Like it's not worth even adding that in.
Right.
So Aki can be a hooker at his own time.
Yep, he can play with himself.
And also, what's stopping people going up to ex-officer, knocking him out, taking his gun, and then they've got a gun, like, easy peasy?
I mean, would you do that in real life? I mean, honestly, I mean...
Like, someone could throw a dildo at a cop, he's like, what the fuck, and then gets knocked out, and then he's lost his gun, you know?
I would say that, we need to make sure that we're actually RPing and, fearing for your life. I mean, this isn't just, I'm Rambo or, I'm nonstop war, that, oh, well, I can just respawn and stuff like that. There needs to be, limitations to your actions and, what you would do in normal life, you would, act the same way in, the video game.
Yeah. Like you see a cop car, and you're like, "Shit, have I done so wrong?" No,
Right.
not like, "Let's fucking take his car."
Exactly.
But you're gonna still get a lot of that mentality because you've got people coming from like fucking CG and A3L and all that shit. So I mean,
Well, and then and they'll easily, get pushed back over there to continue playing.
on a boat, you should just get like a little prison boat and just push them out to sea.
And they reach a certain limit, it
They
says
reach
you are
fucking
banned.
A3L. They just hit a limit, or they lay on the prison island. Because I went on the Australia map and they shared some of the assets with you, didn't they? Like,
Yeah,
is there
Mados.
plans after NerdsRPG to make Australia RP or something like that? Because
Yes, there will be Australia Life that is off our framework that will be hosted in an Australia server that will be ran by Jonesy and Mados.
And is it plans for like flagpoles outside your house? Because I know flags exist in ArmA, and Exile has the system where you can set your own flag. Because like people want like certain flags outside their houses and stuff like that signify where your friend live. For example, you could go around the corner. Oh yeah, look for the skull and crossbones with a Confederate flag or something.
I would say put that on the suggestions form. I don't see a reason why not. You can't plant a flag in your front yard. I don't have a problem with that, but I would just definitely say put it on the suggestion form so that your idea doesn't get lost.
All right, and what's the crafting pattern Boolean for dildos?
That's something that you'll have to figure out. There are some things that we will tell you how to, what items need to be put together to make items. But for the majority of other things, it's going to be a trial and error of you figuring it out. And that's one way it's going to make, one business better than the other, because it's not just, oh, I want to make this, so I got these in my inventory. If you don't know how to make the shit, your business is not going to grow, and
blueprints and that sort of stuff.
Somewhat like
once
that.
You've made something, will you know how to do it, or will people just have to like mentally?
Yeah, it will be mentally.
I'm sure someone will make a wiki later on, like how to make a bin.
And that's up to them to do that.
What? Well, I'm sure if I go in Boolean's house, it'll be filled with dildos.
All right. Any other questions there, Dildo Man?
I'm good.
All right.
Next up is Frank White.
Right, yeah, so I just have one quick question and a branch out a bit. I know there's both legal and illegal ways to make money. Is there any plans for a laundering system where if you have illegal money, you could launder it somewhere, or you could choose to spend it, keep it on you, spend it, but that's a risk reward where you could lose it a lot easier?
Right now, I think it's just plain money. There is ideas to make it to where you have to launder it and you lose a percentage of it when you launder it, but it's clean money. Those are ideas that are on the table, but it's not officially in the game. A lot of the features that we wanted to push is going to be released in stages rather than everything up front, so that there's actually content and things that want to keep people continuing to play. If we put everything out at one time, people are going to get bored, and then there's nothing for us to continue adding.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Next up is David Brown.
Hello.
Hey, you're back.
Yeah, I figured it out. You have to use push to talk. But anyways, my idea was for a crafting wiki, but I'm pretty sure we already covered that. Yeah, so I was also wondering, like, were you planning to make, like knives really accessible, as to guns, guns aren't going to be easy to get, but like, what about knives and like stuff like that?
We are going to put knives in the game. We're also going to make it to where you can make shanks out of the prison, but you're going to have to get items from when you're out on work detail, whether you at the mining quarry and you make a sharp object, or you're out picking, something else, and you take, items from each detail that you're in prison doing, and you take those back and you can craft it into a shank and try to escape if you want to. But that's not in yet, but it is a feature that is on our list to do.
All right. Yeah. So next would be definitely. Are we gonna be able to loot bodies and pull guns off of downed people?
That is a question from Boolean, but from my understanding, you will be able to loot people.
Okay. Then last thing, I would like Jamie and Sam and other PD people to add to this, just kind of a statement to all the other civs listening. So basically, our goal as
I have.
Oh, go ahead.
What?
No man. Yeah, they were talking about you. But I was gonna say, so basically, the goal for the police department for Crystal Shores is, to be really professional, and we want you as civs to, call us if there's a problem, stuff like that. So, Jamie and Sam, if you guys want to add to that at all, but that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, the police department is really big on community policing. We want to be out there and make sure that when you guys have issues that you contact us. We will give our private numbers out as well. You can call us with. We will be going by businesses, just introducing ourselves, and just making it feel that we're there for the community. Obviously, if you're doing crimes, that's a different story. But most of our police officers will be on foot patrols, in bikes, on bikes, or probably in cars driving around. And the fact that how the car system works, where if you break your car, you need to call in the tow truck, really means that you guys need to be more careful with your cars as well, and so will the police department. So we're gonna, in pursuits at least, we're gonna be more cautious with things. Yeah, that's all.
To answer your question, David, everything?
Yeah, that's it.
Next up is Kat. Sorry, Kat.
Yeah, you said to enable the push to talk. Hi. Server slots wise, what are you guys looking at? Like how many server slots you think you're gonna be able to have and that kind of stuff?
Was that number of server slots?
Yeah, how many server slots are you guys aiming for to have within one server?
This is probably one for Scotty, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was just about to speak. I think initially probably start off around 60, and as things look at some data and profile, and as things seem okay, I'll slowly increase them. But ideally, minimum 90 to 100. But there's also a queue system, so it'll actually be more slots than that. But if you want to play, you'll log in, and if there's say 90 people playing, there might be 30 slots, and you'll be in the queue because there's a way to put players in game without creating lag. So as you're queued, you can just go AFK for 5 minutes, and then you'll pop in.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. First person and third person, what's the decisions on that? Because I remember the first times, first person on foot was amazing, and I don't understand why it was ever brought out, because it made everything way better, in my opinion.
It is still first person when you're walking. However, it is third person when you're driving, and first person when you're flying.
Actually, if I may interrupt, I changed it so you can choose between first and third person unless you're in combat. So when you fire a gun or take damage, you'll be forced into first person. So there's a combat timer, and during that combat timer, which is currently at 5 minutes, and it always resets back to 5 minutes upon receiving damage or doing damage to someone else, you'll be forced into first person.
That sounds also interesting. For every one of you, are you guys keeping it simple enough so it will work with ArmA, or are you going way into too depth with some stuff? Because that's the most thing I see wrong with communities. They overthink stuff and they will make so many different roles, and then you have these 70 people to fill them up, and you never see them around because there's not enough people.
As far as what you talking about, PD, sheriffs, fucking
I mean,
wildlife association, the dildo troll and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's only PD. There will be a small amount of individuals that will be considered Homeland Security, that will be watching companies and manufacturers and so forth. for rule breaking of selling firearms to non people, because that's going to, until the system is in place, it's going to have to be an admin looking at logs to be able to track if a firearm is sold inappropriately and so forth.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's basically all I want. Just if it's simple enough, so it will function, it will probably be something good. So I hope it sticks to that, and you don't take it too deep.
Yeah, we're not going to have done. I'm sure you're referencing a certain community that has 20 different factions within the police force. So yeah, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah, same with Department of Justice. It's like judges, justices, head judge. Like it goes like so in depth, and like you never see them around, and it's like, what's the point, man? Why can't you just have judges and lawyers? You're getting DAs, assistant DAs. It's just, it gets too much, to be honest, and you can never do stuff on the spot. You're just like, oh, you want to go to court? Well, no judges around, man. So yeah, I think you get the point, and it seems like you guys are gonna try to avoid going too deep. That's pretty much, yeah, that's it from my side. Thanks.
And we're gonna, I'm just kind of speaking for Baxter a little bit, and I'm sure, and we're gonna try things as we move through the people playing, and we're gonna experiment, and we count on you guys. If we try to do something that's not working, like, you guys gotta come to us and tell us, in a constructive way, like, hey, like, this, I don't think this is working, like, maybe we should try this. Like, we need feedback from you guys to make sure this is the mod we all want it to be. And next up after Kat is Freddie Johnson.
Okay, my question is kind of related to Kat, but I'm basically just asking and wondering, at the start, like the plans you have for the start, are you guys planning to just do bug fixing and stuff like that, or will you continue to add in more? It's kind of related to how long will it take? Like, what are you doing at the moment to release it in the beta?
Well, beta is going to stay open. It's just like other communities that are currently running, and they have fixes to current bugs and new features and so forth. Beta will continuously stay open. It's not going to be like alpha, that was a quick test of things, to how fucked up shit is, and going and fixing things. Beta will stay open all 24/7 unless server restarts or somebody DDoSes us. But for the most part, it will stay up. We will have our team doing the best they can, fixing bugs and releasing new content.
Okay, second thing to that. And when there's patch updates, how will they be? Will there be big ones that we introduce several things, or will be like one patch each day, then you release one, then release a hotfix if something is broken? Because I've seen in other communities they release huge updates, but half of it is broken, and they need to take the server down and a lot of stuff like that.
Well, that's I would say a failure on their part to not test things before releasing shit. So our guys are pretty good at fixing things and testing before they release stuff. So I don't see us really having an issue. There may be some things that are a big update, and there might be some smaller impacts, but hopefully the launcher will stay up to date with change logs and stuff like that, and change logs on the forums that keeps you advised of what's going on.
Okay, thanks.
Next up is Smitty Hemming.
Hello, can you hear me?
What's up?
Yo, I was just wondering if we have a set date where our EMS and police will be going in, just so we can set time aside for that.
I don't have an exact date, but we're looking within the 2-week time frame for EMS and PD to at least start training. Then businesses will come after that and so forth.
Well, shit. All right, thank y'all. I just want to also say a huge thanks to everyone. You guys have done a lot, and it looks pretty amazing from what I've seen from streams and whatnot.
Appreciate it.
Next up is Robert Istis again.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Go ahead.
The other
go
Robert.
ahead.
Robert?
You, Mr. Istis.
Okay,
Is,
okay.
As some say.
Okay, so I heard about ATC like in dollars and how you're gonna fly it, because I don't want to. I want people flying helicopters very low and hitting buildings and then setting fire and getting them out of there and burnt and things.
What's the question?
How the ATC system's gonna go? Air
All
traffic
right.
control.
That's not implemented yet.
Oh, okay, I got you.
However, Robert, we will obviously be enforcing flying as in roleplay. So basically, to be honest, it's very unlikely that we'll introduce choppers on or choppers in at all early game, because no one's going to have money to buy them. It is going to be the 1%, of players that have that luxury. But if those 1% are fucking around and not role playing as soon as their bloody helicopter leaves the ground, it'll become a staff matter, and then we'll deal with it subsequently.
Yeah, and my other question was if there's gonna be a custom hospital. I've heard that's gonna be one, but I've never seen anything related to that.
What's that? You said about a hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Because
will
I've
be.
seen-
There will be a hospital.
Yay.
Okay, next up is Mr. Jones again.
All right. So I have a couple questions now. As in real life, most businesses, when you have a job, you clock in. In Nerds, will you be able to is there going to be a clock-in system when you go to a job?
There is a clock-in system for PD and stuff. I don't know if it's going to roll over to civilians or not for company systems. But that will be a feature that I do want to get implemented so that a business owner can actually see what their employees are actually working and how much they're participating so that you can pay them accurately.
Okay. Another question. Like you were talking about the custom launcher. Is that launcher going to be from launch of beta directly, or will we have to go through ARMA 3 sync until that's released?
No, it'll be ready on release.
Okay. Is there any important features other than the ones that you mentioned that are in the launcher that we should know about?
A launcher is just a launcher. I mean, it's not gonna give you a blowjob or anything. I mean, it's just a plain launcher that will retrieve the files, see things that have been updated, and will automatically sync it. And also, if you get banned off our community and you sync the launcher, it will automatically remove our files from your computer.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up is Robert Wolski.
Hey, I have a question regarding vehicles. Will, let's say, you purchase a vehicle, will there be like a specific, your custom license plate or something? Like, will generate a license plate or like a vehicle identification number or something?
Yes, all vehicles will have a license plate that associates to the owner. Or you can get a custom license plate from the shop or whatever. Yeah, all vehicles will have a license plate so that PD can run it when they're behind you and so forth to see if you're wanted or not.
And also another question, well, I'm assuming you're gonna require for, let's say, business owners to sort of hold, I mean, it would be wise to hold some sort of logs of what sales they made in case they need to reach out and have some sort of a proof. Would that be like a main, would that be a requirement? That's what I'm asking.
There's going to be logs that's not implemented yet that will be utilized. I'm not sure how exactly we're going to do it. Obviously, it's going to take discussing and figuring out what limitations that we have. But I do want to have charts to show like certain aspects of transactions and stuff going on the server. If anything, just to make sure that the economy is actually working and there doesn't need to be any uh, actions taken on part of admin team to or the development team to continue making the mod successful.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
Next up is did I do Lenny yet? If not, Lenny,
No, you haven't done me yet.
go for it, Sherry.
Alright, I just had a question. I know it's been on the forums for a long time, the thread. As far as street names go, is every street going to be named? And will there be street signs in game?
Yes, there will be street signs. Every street will be labeled. I will actually be going over picking names from our forum post of names, concepts that we came up with, and actually be naming them in the next day or so. So they will be street signs, yeah.
All right, and as far as the the GPS, the map coordinates in ArmA, is that going to be, because I mean, real life, if you have something going on, you got to call 911. You're not going to know the geographic coordinates off the top of your head. I mean, in order to report that as a position of an accident or a situation.
I don't know if immediately it's going to have that feature to pinpoint where someone's at. What I do want is eventually making a telephone system to where it uses cell towers, and basically within them cell towers can coordinate. Hey, this ping from the cell phone was used on tower one, and they were within this parameter of the phone call or something. That's what I want to do down the road, but it's not nothing right now.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I was just because having the GPS coordinate right there is kind of cheap. Like if you witness something, you want to be able to say it's at the corner of blah blah and blah blah.
Right.
All right, that about does it. Thank you.
Next up is Stephen Draper.
Yeah, my question is, if you have like a company that has company vehicles, let's say tow trucks, for a tow truck company, are they stored in my personal garage if I'm the owner, or are they stored in a company garage where anybody else that is involved in the company can use them?
So you're asking about company vehicles if they're be able to be utilized by other individuals?
Yeah, other employees of that company.
Yeah, there's basically the system allows you to put certain items that are able to be pulled out by employees that they will have access to. So if you buy 10 tow trucks and you put them in your company garage system, they will be able to pull from it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Next up is Kate James, and 5-minute warning, so everyone try to be as quick as possible.
Kate? Ready. Well, skip.
Hi, Kate.
Okay, yay. Okay, that works. I was gonna type, it's not letting me again. Okay. All right, so I'll be quick. Something that I've seen on other servers, which is really helpful, is a streaming tag that doesn't allow people to poke you. Would you guys consider adding a tag on TeamSpeak that maybe users could turn on or off for themselves? That would temporarily not allow people to poke you.
I'm not opposed to that. I'll just have to set it up on TeamSpeak to allow certain individuals, I guess, with a tag that can manage that. I don't want everybody in the servers to be able to do that, but I mean, if there's
Sure.
certain individuals that require it, then we can put it on them for them or whatever.
Sure. Okay, cool. That was my only question. Thank you.
No worries.
Next up is Mr. Brooks again.
Hey. Okay, I was just wondering, how does a company obtain a business, or they buy it in game, or from the government, or apply for it?
Basically, the first steps is you need to apply on the forums and be approved by the moderator team. And then from there, you actually go in game and you'll go to the courthouse, and there's a certain setup that will allow you to go get your business license. And it costs a certain amount, and you just name it what you want with a description and so forth, and then that's how you actually become a company, and then you go buy a business.
Okay, and also, will companies, dealerships, will they be able to set custom prices for vehicles they're selling?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Persina Luck.
All right, this is a question for, I guess, PD. Is PD going to have a separate database, not in-game, that's going to track criminal records of users?
No, it's all in-game.
But is there going to be a criminal record database?
It's already in place.
Okay.
Last is Vic, and be quick, please.
Okay, I got one question. Hunting, is that a thing? And if you join the Department of Corrections, can you swap over to PD?
Hunting, yes, obviously, because you got to have food and stuff to sell to other people. Swapping between departments, that's between you requesting your department leads from DOC and you applying for PD, and that lateral move is accepted on both parties.
Yeah, you need to go through training. There's no lateral move that way. Because in DOC you don't have the basic law enforcement course, so you can't do a swap over like that. You gotta apply and follow the steps.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And a statement from Mr. Kyle White-Rubin.
Hey guys, I just wanted to remind everyone that we are in need of specific companies, and I know that we've been talking about businesses a lot in this meeting. As some of you might have noticed, Mike posted an announcement on the forums letting the community know that we need specific companies like mining companies, food production, food processing, fuel companies, and transportation services. I would personally like to encourage anyone who has still not chosen their path and feels that they can run a business to consider starting a company. We got too many PMCs and security agencies, and that's not what we need right now. If you want to be one of the pioneers of food production or mining, then I do urge you to submit a business application on the forums. Okay, and I will post a link to the announcement if you want to know more about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why so many people are creating accounts for PMCs and stuff like that, because that shit's not going to really fly too well. You don't get special benefits. You're not able to do anything. If you want to do anything, you can set up a private security company, but a PMC, just the wording is not accepted.
And that was it. Mike, if you want to wrap it up.
Okay, awesome. Foremost, I want to say thank you to all of our team, staff, developers. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And thank you to the community for, backing us, being here, giving us the ideas to be able to make it a more playful community. I really hope to see everyone participating and actually behaving, and not getting removed on the first week that y'all are here, because I do think that this will be very fun for everybody. It will be a different change per what we're used to from different communities and playing with back in A3L days, but I think if you just give it an opportunity and just try to role play and you just have fun with it, I think we'll have a blast with this. With that said, I appreciate everybody coming, and just look forward to updates being posted on the forums and social media, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
And for staff, we'll head up to the staff meeting room to finish what we started earlier if anyone is interested.